Okay, so welcome to the channel. My name is Victor. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. This is going to be a series in web vulnerability assessment. So we're trying to fix a WordPress site. We've done the first initial checkup, and we found out that it's a WordPress website. We've seen a little bit about what some of the challenges are. And like I said, this is the website, but if you load the website, depending on your ISP, depending on the IDS you have, depending on the anti-malware or antivirus software you have, it's going to alert you and tell you that this site has a suspicious maybe injection or whatever. If I reload this, you're going to see that I'm going to have this kind of threat alert. So the question is, how do we fix that? In the previous video, we've done, we've tried viewing page source also. If you do that, you're not going to get anything. You're going to still get that alert. We now logged into the cPanel, or before we did that, I actually went to do an inspection to see how the website was built. Because like I said, it's how a website is built that will tell how you're going to fix it, then before you start doing some vulnerability assessment. We checked the configuration file for the site. We saw that that was fine. We started checking the alerts system or the log system for the site. We found out that there's a plugin that seems to be the culprit. We did a simple Google and we found out that just recently, about a few weeks ago, there was a massive takeover of websites using that particular plugin. And the next thing we now did was to say, okay, and I also told you that if this site still loads on most browsers or on most systems that doesn't have an antivirus, but if this continues for the next 2-3 weeks, what happens is that through the threat intelligence by Google, they are going to do what? Blacklist it. But for now, we are kind of good because most systems that doesn't have antivirus will still or anti-malware or an IDS will still load the site, or does not have a kind of a unified threat management tool deployed on the system or on the network, they will still load the site. So we are like 50-50 now. If this continues for the next 3-4 weeks, this site is going to be blacklisted and it's going to be this way. So I want to show you how we are going to fix this challenge now. And maybe in another series of videos, I'm going to share with you how you can fix a website that is being blacklisted. Okay, let's go. So now, when we also inspected the index.php, the main file that loads, if you have a PHP site, a Python site, base site, an ASP site, a .NET site, it will naturally be in that extension. So the index file is always the first file that loads when you load the site, right? This is the file that loads when you load the site. Now, if we are trying to check for some threads, that's a typical file we want to always use to know what happened. And upon opening that file, look at what I'm seeing. This seems to be like an injection. This is what it's taking. It's going to typically hijack traffic from this site to elsewhere. Now, looking at this, I can see that this is the actual file that should be on this site. How do I know? If I download WordPress setup, download, this is the WordPress files. I think I have this file on my system. WordPress should be in version, let's say 6 point something. I should have it right. I have it, this is 6.02, whereas this is 6.3. I can still open that. So this is the actual setup of a WordPress file. Are you seeing the files? Admin, let's put it side by side. This is okay, let's put this by this way. Now you see I have well-known. Well-known is used for most of the times for validation, especially for site security. You have WP admin, this is it. WP content, this is it. WP includes, this is it. This is a foreign body most of the times. Yes, this is used for directory access and validation. Error log, this is fine. This will always become added to these files once you load the website to help you track your error. Of course, that's how we were able to notify or note that the ultimate file has issues. Then you have index. Index is here. We have license, we have activate. So all of these files are typically the regular file. Look at this guy. This guy is a foreign body, so we're not supposed to have this guy here. So this guy and the additions we have here are the injection that is being done by the vulnerabilities in that ultimate plugin. So I've done my comparison. If I open index.php, what should the actual file of a WordPress index.php look like? What should it look like? This is how it should look like. It should just have this, the comment, then this, then define use WordPress theme true, then it will typically want to load the directory and load the header of the website. So this is all I needed. I didn't need, look at it here. This is all I needed. I don't need all of this. So this was done by the hacker that was trying to like hack this website. So we're going to take off this part. All of this, we're going to take it off. So I cut it, right? Now, you see, when you do cybersecurity, there's an aspect we call forensics. So forensics is a section of cybersecurity that you do after you already have an hack. So I could save this file and start doing some forensic on this particular stuff later on, right? But I'm going to do that in another series of videos. But what we're interested now is try to fix this site, because you see this stuff, the hacker is always going to use this same type of script to do whatever it's going to be doing across all the websites it's going to be doing. So this is a PHP file, open tag, close tag, and all of the stuff, post this, that, and the rest. So we can do forensics for this later on. There's a video on the channel that talks about digital forensics, the process, and the rest. But now we want to see how to get this site back up and running without throwing up that alert. Okay, let's load it again. Now, if you try to use some scripts to like scan this website, you might not see anything. That's why manual pen testing or manual vulnerability assessment is very crucial. And for you to do manual vulnerability assessment, that means that you need to actually understand how that stuff was built up. So if you want to do network vulnerability assessment or pen testing, you should understand how to set up networks. You should have at least an intermediate level certification, training, hands-on training on that. If you want to learn, if you want to be able to do web vulnerability assessment and pen testing, you should be able to have intermediate level training skill set in that area. If you want to do cloud, then you should be able to understand that technology, have some intermediate level training, hands-on certification. So wherever you want to focus on, you need to build competence in those areas. So I've checked it up again. I still have that message. So I will go back now and save this file. So invariably, I have removed that injection. Let me go back now and refresh my site and see what happens. So the site, is it loading? Let me load again. Site does not load, right? So this can be a very long series in us trying to fix this website. Let me try another browser. shub.com.ng. Site does not load. Let me still come back here. Site does not load. So let's move on. Now, next thing we want to do is to go deactivate that particular plugin. So I'm going to move over to WP content plugins. Invariably, one of the first things, oh, I'm seeing a plugin here. This doesn't look like a plugin. What is 2N2 whatever? Oh, it's even a URL. Let's search. Oh, special education. Okay, what is this? N2UYYT. Okay, what is this? Unique learning system, unique learning system. Would this be a plugin? Let me see, plugin, because it must be a plugin. It must be in the WordPress repository. Now, how do you know how to measure that? Do you make sure that you don't want your website to be hacked? Of course, see, this happens. This is July also. This is very, very recent. How do you make sure that you don't want your website to be hacked? Any plugin you're going to use, any script you're going to use, any theme that you're going to be using, you want to make sure that that is very, very updated. It has thousands as much as possible. WordPress plugin. It has, so let's go search for it even and see whether it's part of the database of plugins. So because developers can easily develop plugins, but the question is for what purpose? Just like hackers can develop plugins to try to hack people via either iOS apps or WordPress apps. So it's not even found. So that is suspicious. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to open it up, see what is inside. Open it up, see what is inside. See it? Cookies, this, while this. So this is another artifact. So I'm going to go back, zip this up, compress it. I'm going to download it. Let me refresh. This is it. This is the zipped version. So I'm going to download this. It's downloaded. I'm going to delete it. Now, you see, at times for most hacks to happen, it's a series of activities. Some of us think, oh, if the site is to be hacked, it's just one button and the person is in and the person can do something. No, it doesn't always happen that way. So it's always a series of activities. So the person is going to do this, then do this, then do this before that site can be compromised. So that is off. So we will do forensic later on, maybe in another series of videos, to try to get intelligence about those particular script files, or if we see folders, or if we see images. We want to know who are the hackers, who are the people responsible for that. Can we trace them? Can we know their modus operandi? Can we know what they are after? Is it just for fame? Is it for money? Is it to divert traffic? Is it to whatever? Another thing I'm looking at here is tutor. What is tutor? Okay, maybe it's a plugin. I'm trying to look out for suspicious stuff. Ejakudas. What is Ejakudas? Okay, let me go up. Open this and see. Ejakudas. Nothing. Let me open up. So you cannot be using something that doesn't have any trace, that doesn't have somebody else using it. You fall prey of hackers. So if you are trying to download plugins, trying to download script, no matter the way that site is built, imagine I can't even find anything. So I'm going to take that off. So no matter how good it looks like, it's going. So let me refresh. Ejukudas, download it. Ejukudas, download it. What's happening? Doesn't want to download. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. Okay, the zip file doesn't have any harm, so let me just delete this. I would prefer to download it so that I can do forensics one of these days when I'm free. Okay, it's revising, but I've deleted the main file, so I'm good to go. Let me refresh again. Tutor, let me see what is here. Let me still open this, see what is here. Edit files. This looks like a regular plugin. Go. Elementor Pro, Tutor LMS add-ons. Woodreef. What is Woodreef? Woodriff doesn't look like a regular plugin. I've used WordPress for, good, awesome. I've used WordPress for the last like 12, 13 years. And once I see something, okay, yes, this has an opening tag, doesn't have a closing tag. Let me search for PHP. Opening, so it might be closing somewhere else. So I'm going to, what's the name again? Woodriff. So I'm going to still compress this. I'm going to delete it. Good. So let me refresh this. So later on, I'm going to be downloading Woodriff and Ejakudas. Okay. Rename background image cropper elemental in whatever. Let me go back and see whether my site is even going to load. Okay, good. So I have progress. What was happening was that the plugin, those scripts and stuff was kind of breaking the site, right? So it's making it difficult for us to like get our site up and running. So what's going to happen? I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to continue in another series. When we come back, we'll continue from this place. I want to try to see how we can now start replacing with the defaults. Then before we now start patching and fixing the site.